rock and roll. All right, we're gonna move some blocks. You got the brakes? Yeah. You're probably in gear. All right, I'm ready.
Oh, there's a hole right here. You got it.
We feel like we're in gear.
The emergency brake's on.
Oh.
Pull up and turn or something. There you
There
go.
you go.
Hard corner. Turn, turn, turn. Going downhill is right move here. I'm not even using any force. The brake's too much. That'll do well. So, I don't know how long I've been out there, half an hour plus, and got a good chunk of it, but I don't have the edges. And then on the inside, it's just not coming all the way down the metal. Now, is that because my rollers are getting dull? Possibly. Never used them before. But I was out hiking in the desert today. Got super hot, and now it's like midday and I'm out there, you know, fully sleeved and you know, all the protection on my face and everything. I'm just sweating. There's only so much I could take of the heat, so I'm gonna do a little cleaning up on my gas tank, kind of do some test spots, and see how that turns out. But I'm not gonna do the thing today. I'm just gonna kind of get some of the rough, dirty work done. We'll see what happens. So there's a few things that I wanted to do real quick, and that was, there was a lot of buildup here, and I just wanted to make sure that that was fling off from like the U-joint in the differential or the drive shaft, and make sure that it wasn't like Bondo or something and there's something more. However, you know, tanks used to come with a drain plug. I don't know if they do so much these days, but there was a lot of goop around it, and getting those to weld shut or solder shut might not be the easiest thing ever. However, it is right next to the filler hole, so that's good. But the goop did come off easily, so that's the next kind of can of worms to see what condition that's in. Do I just need like an O-ring, or is it time to resolder? Which, don't want to deal with that so much. And I left everything in to just try to keep as much contaminants out of the tank as possible. And then I just took, you know, a real fast graze across the top and cleaned up really nice. So I think once I get all the grease off this thing, you know, I'll be able to polish this up pretty good, and then kind of take a look at what we're going to do with this drain plug. If it was me, I'd make it just go away, but I don't know. We'll see. What a beautiful day to be picking up the van. The scenery out here is just amazing, and really excited to get this thing and see what we got done to it.
The edge where that rust is at. And there's rust back behind. This side over here, I cut this thing out. I brushed it and stuff, and anyway, I put this rust killer primer in between there.
Okay.
Then I took that thing out.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So, and all this stuff is just roughed in. It's so hard. I can't get in there very well at all on any of it. That top doesn't come off of that thing.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
That's all. It's. I think it's welded.
Oh.
Spot welded on there.
Okay. So let me ask you, something like this would using a metal filler be better than using like a polyester or whatever?
You know, it won't make any difference. You're not going to have that much on there. You're going to be fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good with this stuff.
All right.
I mean, some guys use that all metal stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you can use it. I don't know if it's harder to work. I don't.
Well, there's a version made by Evercoat that they say is like the closest thing to leading. Of course, before my time, but it's easy to sand, but it's all metal.
Oh, well, you could use it. It wouldn't hurt anything. And then here, same thing. I could get in there as best as I could. I mean, I could spend a lot more time on it.
Sure. Yeah.
But it just.
Yeah.
I mean, I was eating up hours here.
Sure.
This up here. It was pretty rusty all the way down through inside there.
So this whole piece is new?
Yeah, this is new from here down.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
The grill, I straightened that out a little bit. It was kind of blurred up. But this down under here is where I don't have a good way to do this. I started to, and it'll just kind of rip it up. If your guy has a way he can get on here and pull this out.
Okay.
I tried to weld something on here and pry it, and I couldn't get it.
Okay.
You know, and the other way to do it is to split this, cut this all off of here, straighten it, and then weld it back on.
Weld it back on. Okay.
You know, all that stuff can be done. It just all takes time.
Yeah.
And this back here, I get this pulled out a lot better than it was. This was all folded in underneath here. This edge wasn't here.
Huh.
That was laid up. It was all squeezed up.
Oh, okay. Okay. And so this is all original?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then your dash.
Mm-hmm.
So that dash is something. They weren't, from the piece you had where it wasn't damaged, This piece that's inset in here is not flat. It's got, you see this slight, that's the way they were. There was a little crown here. And
Right.
see this crown right here?
Yeah.
Well, that all flows through here.
Okay.
And that looks just way better.
Right.
It gives it some life.
Sure.
And so I made a piece and I went right down. This was just ragged down underneath here.
Right.
So I eliminated all of that was bad.
Okay.
So it's just all,
And that support is still behind there.
it's welded in.
Okay.
There's 2 of them.
Okay, so that's welded to the piece.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
It's back together.
Okay.
Flatten those holes out, and
Yep.
I just welded that big one up so you can put what you want to in there.
Okay.
The engine compartment thing.
Should I come around?
Yeah, you'll see it better what it's doing.
Oops. I'll come around the back.
So, yeah, that was a trick. Actually, the way it worked out wasn't this. It has to be like your fuel rail is right there,
Right.
and then I had to do that. It just clears your seat.
Okay.
Everything goes up. Your fuel is right here, right across here is where your line is,
Okay.
and you got 2¼ inches or so there. You'll be able to make up something
Okay.
and get it in. You've got room for it.
Okay.
And I did not put the hold up back in. I think you're going to be able to do it. I think you'll have to relocate one hole.
I might even put like actuators or something
Oh,
so it
that
goes up. Yeah. And then you had to move the seat thing.
I moved the seat.
Is there a hole for it or?
There's a hole. There's a bolt just down through it. Now it's not. There's nothing underneath it.
I could be wrong, but I noticed that there's a bunch of holes for the doghouse that have what I'll call pre-welded nuts, and then there's a bunch that seem to be just holes. Why would they do that?
I have no idea.
I mean, that's not that they fell out over time.
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. And some of the bolts are in on this thing, and some of them aren't, but they'll have
Sure.
to fit because it's just the way it was.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And then we didn't do any door alignments or anything?
No, I've flat run out of time.
Sure, sure. Let me ask you, so on this, like there's 2 bolts here that you unscrew, but this thing's, like I can't get it to move. Like where should I be hammering to dislodge this thing? Or do I need to strip all the paint and crap off of it?
Let me see here.
Because
What do you got on the inside?
inside looks like it's like pushed in rivets or something.
Oh, they don't come out?
Not on the door itself.
Oh.
It doesn't look like it.
Well, what?
You know, so I don't know if I should be using something to try to pry it or you know.
I would get in there and soak it with some oil.
Okay.
Some good penetrating oil and let it sit in there for a while
Okay.
before you start banging around on it. You should be able to get those loose. Have you Googled it? See what
Not
just
yet.
about everything's on there. I don't give a shit what it is.
Sure,
There's
sure.
somebody doing it and showing you how they did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in that top corner, is that actual rust that I'm seeing? The brownish? Right above the...
Here?
That, yeah, probably. Or is that glue? That's all glue?
That might be glue.
What about past the, like where the passenger door is? Like it starts getting really deep brown. It seems weird, like how would rust get in that area?
Oh, down in here?
That looks really dark.
That's, that's surface rust there. That's not rusted out.
So I should be
You can spray some stuff in there.
some sealant
Where,
type.
what you want to look for when you strip this thing,
Yeah.
just be looking for all the places where you're seeing brown coming from the inside out.
Okay.
That's your rust. And if
Okay.
you just see little tiny stuff, take a ice pick and just poke it. And if it goes through, then you know you got an issue there.
Right.
And just start poking it and just X all that stuff, and you'll see, and then you're gonna know where the issues are. But you're gonna need to check this thing out because you got a lot of areas where there's double metal and
Yeah.
moisture gets in there.
Yeah. Is a lot of that rust that I see on the bottom of the right door, was that already there, or is that something that you were poking from the other side when you pulled it out?
Which, let me come over.
On this, like these pieces, is that
Oh, that's rust.
what you poked through?
No, that was there.
Oh, that was there. Okay.
That's just, yeah. I mean, it's every place you have metal on metal like that. This has been in a damp area,
Right.
and that's why you have that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Any place, even the bottoms of the doors where they hem around, they're folded.
Right.
Those are places. You got to look around the bottoms of all the doors and all of that. See what you find.
Okay. So there's.
It's hard to say. I mean,
So if I have open areas that are flat, one sheet of metal, I could use a phosphorus, whatever, to stop the process if
yeah.
it's surface rust.
Yeah.
If I'm in a place like this, I would have to use it like an encapsulator type thing. Like if there's no way to replace it because it's just way too crazy. Or you're saying?
I'm saying there's no right way to do it other
Yeah.
than replace it. I
Sure.
don't know anything that you can do. I mean, I've been around this long enough to know I've gone over stuff that people have, quote, fixed,
Right.
and it just comes back and gets you.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And what you're gonna, if I were you, man, I'd strip this sucker and see what you have ahead of you before you put a whole lot more money in it.
Right.
'Cause then you're gonna have a pretty good idea. Like,
Sure.
oh shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the windows out, and the next thing I'm doing is stripping
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah, strip her right now, get rid of all that Bondo, and see what you have. I'm amazed that there's that much filler in it. It's like they skimmed the whole damn thing.
Yeah, and it seems like some of this is actually skimmed from the factory. Like the white stuff isn't, but there's a lot of areas that just seemed kind of wavy to begin with.
Maybe. Yeah.
So. Which is way smaller than I thought it was going to be, so I'm really happy about that.
So what did he do here?
He pulled all this out,
Oh.
and there was holes, and he
Okay.
filled all the holes with welding.
Uh-huh.
And this used to have a big honking thing coming off with a light,
Oh, yeah.
so he shaved all that, got that all,
Put a plate in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
and then he filled this whole thing, because this thing was the worst. This was the
Okay.
worst out of everything.
Yeah.
This had holes as big as my finger, like 8 of them, and it was
From
smashed
rust
in.
or?
And
From someone hit it, you
and
know?
when they put the Bondo on, they didn't sand it at all. They just
Oh, with the
slapped it
paint?
on.
Yeah.
Old paint in
Just slapped it on.
Sounds like what I would do.
That was funny.
there. Well, looks good, Jim.
Yeah, and then he also did, let me show you this. So, on the doors, the way the doors work, is there's a little bit of rust because it's metal on metal. So he pulled this out, got this all primered in, and then I could deal with this on my own. But same thing over here, he filled some holes, and I gotta deal with some of that stuff and some of the rust on the bottom.
Yeah.
So,
Put some rust board on it or something.
yeah. So, but I'm always like asking people like, hey, so, should I use some metal filler or do this and, or some encapsulator, this and that? And they're like, it's going to get you no matter what. So, until it's gone,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
Hey,
that's where the emblem goes.
oh. Okay.
Yeah, very good. You got another leap here.
Yeah, that's a pretty big
Yeah.
leap. So, the dash and the you know, having that doghouse actually
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
That's a huge. In fact, that was the main thing I hired him for, was that.
For that, yeah.
And then I called him up the next day and I'm like, can you do the dash? Can you take those corners and take
You
care of
say,
those?
yeah.
And yeah.
He did it pretty fast too, actually.
Oh yeah, really fast.
You'd be 6
That's
months
pretty
of
amazing
production.
for like a body work guy.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally. Body shops take forever.
That's what I'm saying. That's pretty amazing. When
Yeah.
you said you were done, I'm like, wait,
And
what?
he was like, get this thing out of here. Like he
Yeah, he's tired of looking at
yeah, he was like that's how fast he was, you know, and it seems to me at, you know, because he's retired and I don't know how old he's, 70, 75. It seems like he likes projects. He doesn't like this big of a project.
Oh.
Like the fabrication, totally cool. You want to do the dash? Great. And then he starts getting into all this other stuff and he's like, yeah,
Give it back to you.
yeah, take this back.
Yeah.
But he does, you know, nice work. And he's like, don't get me wrong. He goes, I could have made this perfect. He goes, but you know, you're not going to pay me enough money, and I don't have that much interest in getting a dent out compared to fabricating. You know.
That's what you're doing.
There's plenty of holes that I need to fill still. So,
Well, you don't want a lot of power if you're filling holes.
right.
It's,
Yeah, like, you know, they put screws into the carpet, and just there's probably, you know, 70 holes in the back of the van that I have
Yeah.
to.
Oh yeah, you'll be good by the time you get done with it.
Yeah,
And it
I'll
won't
be
make
pro.
much difference in the floor.
Right.
You know, just roll them up and grind it down.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay.
Yep. Well, I'll go get it. It's in there in the garage.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go to the lake for a few days. So.
All right.
Wait.
You good?
Oh what? Oh yeah. 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 So the next process here is popping all these windows out. Well, we're gonna look at that dent because the one dent he couldn't get out up front.
Oh yeah, you might have to.
My friend's gonna come out for that. Yeah. So what has to happen is all this stuff take like a screwdriver and it will pop because it's dry,
I mean, I'm sure it'll just crumble.
and then you do this and it pops out.
Oh gosh.
But one of my buddy that helped me on the 33, that's what he does for a living. He said, "Oh, just call me. I live down the block. I'll come by."
Oh, cool. Pop them off me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna number them,
Oh right.
pop them off, and then before they go into like storage in the house, I got the blonde circle.
Yeah.
I got this machine, and then right behind it is some kind of jeweler's something, some kind of pumice. Make them like brand new. Just clean them all
Yeah, 'cause
up.
I'm
and,
sure they're.
yeah.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
so
I didn't
then
know you could do that.
yeah, and so I'm
pretty
going to
cool.
restore all the glass,
Yeah.
then put it away, and it's ready to go. And I'm not bringing crap into the house, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that, and then I'd love to have you help me strip the paint on this thing.
Yeah.
And the way that I want to do it is, right now I got a gallon. I'll just do some test spots.
Right. Right.
But you have to, like, you slather it on, and then you put plastic, almost like we did on your truck. So we use the same plastic.
So like the heat of it, or.
Well, so you don't want it to evaporate quick, right? So imagine I slather all the blonde stuff here, right? And then we cut vertically the car plastic that we had, and we stake it on here. And we don't want to do it in the sun, so it's not baking it. You want it to last as long as possible. That's why you're putting plastic on it, to let it just sit on there
Yeah.
and not evaporate. And then 40 minutes later, you pull it off, and you just take a look at a rubber scraper and
Oh wow.
scrape the stuff off. So I figured I'd get the windows out
Then do that.
and just slather as much as possible, and you know, I'll do a few test areas first. And if I know it's only going to go so far, there's 1 gallon still in stock locally. But
If it works well with your tests, you're saying.
yeah, the only problem is you know, there's this red, blue, red, silver. You know, there's 4 layers of primer and paint on this thing. So.